the show. Really excited to be with y'all tonight. And tonight, I'm going to be talking about a certain topic, the topic that is tonight's show, and I'm thinking about doing a whole series on these, is just how I view quarterbacks in the NFL. One of the more fascinating quarterbacks is Derek Carr of the Oakland Raiders. Now, DC is fascinating for several reasons. One is he did not have a good season last year, not throwing for a bunch of yards, had one of the worst teams, was bottom 4 in terms of winning last year. And Derek Carr, now he didn't have a ton of weapons, but Amari Cooper performed a lot better with Dak Prescott than with Derek Carr. So Derek Carr, quarterback out of Fresno State, and I believe that DC was taken in the back half of the first round of the draft. So, we look at him at Fresno State, and Carr was taken out of Fresno, okay? Just looking at his years in college, he was very, very good. I'll look at his NFL stats right here. So in 2016, this was the year when he went 12-3 as a starting quarterback. This is the year when the Oakland Raiders got the wild card spot, and he tore his ACL in the Indianapolis game. That's when Derek Carr ended up getting hurt in that game. Carr that year threw for 262 yards a game, which isn't that many yards. However, his yards per average, his yards per attempt were the highest it's ever been. It was 7 yards per attempt. Actually, last year, for some reason, his yards per attempt point to 7.3. Now, I watched Derek Carr play a lot, and I have no idea why that was the case, that his yard attempts were the highest. Last year, he threw 10 interceptions. The year in 2016, he was 28-6, which is, really impressive. The year before, in 2015, he threw 32 touchdowns, and Carr also he threw for 249 yards a game. Let's see how many. I want to see how many attempts Derek Carr had during his game. I want to see how many attempts. Last year, Derek Carr, it says that he hit 68% of his throws, but it didn't result in anything. I think that completion percentage sometimes is a very, very overrated statistic. I also believe that interceptions, that you can have a terrific year even with throwing a lot of interceptions. I look at win-loss as a big key. Fourth quarter, how you can win games. I like my quarterbacks to throw usually less times and for more yards. I like how Josh Allen plays. Like, Josh Allen is going to be successful because the Buffalo Bills are going to let Josh Allen throw the ball about maybe 25 times, but of those 25 throws, he's scaring the defense. I like to watch a quarterback that has the ability to scare a defense with a deep ball. I think Culpepper did that really well. I think McNabb did that well. Randall Cunningham. But Steve McNair, I look at guys that can throw a beautiful deep ball, and Aaron Rodgers is the scariest quarterback in the league. Patrick Mahomes, those guys can flip games. Russell Wilson, to a certain degree, can make big plays. Explosive plays are what I look for in an offense. It's what I look for in an offensive head coach. It's really what I look for in a quarterback. Can you generate explosive plays? Do you search for those explosive plays? Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa did that at an exceptional level. Tua Tagovailoa, he would be playing a game, and in the back half of and in the second quarter, the game would be pretty much over because he'd already be putting up 35 points. Now, you could attribute that to wide receiver play, but I also attribute it to Tua being aggressive and searching for aggressive throws. Some other people like quarterbacks like Sam Ehlinger that just control the game. I don't love ball control. That's why I've never liked Phillip Rivers as a quarterback. I've never really liked his style that much because he wouldn't be able to turn a game on its head. Drew Brees has intermediately hit deep balls. He's not the strongest arm quarterback, but he could still search and he could still hit a deep ball. Now his play is declining, but he's able to do that. It's interesting. There's two successful quarterback models. There is the Mahomesian model, the Josh Allen model, and I think that those guys like Mahomes, Josh Allen, Brett Favre, Warren Moon, guys like Marino, Jim Kelly, Bradshaw, these quarterbacks are just more talented throwing the ball than anybody else that we've seen. And Drew Lock could maybe be a candidate to just be a ridiculous thrower of the football, somebody that's just gifted at throwing a ball. Aaron Rodgers, of course, is the most maybe gifted thrower that we've ever seen. He had a 70-yard Hail Mary against the Lions. He hit the Hail Mary against Arizona to take that game into overtime. Ridiculous thrower. He can hit back shoulder throws from 25 yards out. He puts the ball in windows that are not even created. So there's quarterbacks that are just talented, and then there's other quarterbacks that are smart and accurate and deadly accurate and smart. Then you have Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, a little bit of Andrew Luck. Phillip Rivers has made a living based on that. Now he doesn't have the talent maybe of Brees or Manning, and he doesn't have a sense for the moment like Tom Brady. Phillip Rivers hasn't been able to win playoff games, and his mechanics are not as clean as Tom Brady and Drew Brees. But you either have to be an overpowering stud that has a decent head on his shoulders, that has a sense for the moment, and will not throw the crucial backbreaker interception. And Josh Allen, I think, is a very hard worker, smart, and that's why I think Allen's going to be really successful. Or you have to be deadly accurate like a Drew Brees. You have to be Peyton Manning. You have to get your players in the right positions, and you have to convert third downs. And that second guy is what Derek Carr has to be. You either have to be deadly accurate, have a little bit of arm strength, and you have to be smart. I mean, look at the quarterbacks that weren't successful. Look at the busted quarterbacks. If we look back at bust, we can actually find out a lot about the position of quarterbacks. Going back to, let's see, QB's NFL draft. QB's in the NFL draft ranging from 2012 to 2019. Okay? So let's do that. Okay? So I am going to get the year of and the position. So let's just do the 2013 draft, and the position is quarterback. And I want the year to be 2013. That's what I would like. Okay, 2013, and go. So basically, I'm trying to get this exercise, whatever. Okay. So the first quarterback selected in 2013 was E.J. Manuel. And let's get a little bit to Derek Carr. I know I'm getting a little bit off track. So the thing is with Derek Carr is that he does not have a strong arm. He lobs the ball. He's incapable of driving the ball 35 yards. He can drive the ball about 15 to 20 yards. That's what Derek Carr can do. Is his release very quick? It's not. Are his feet, is he very elusive as a player? Not that elusive. He's not a statue. He's just not that elusive. Can he drive the ball? Usually not. Derek Carr, the one attribute that Carr has and that he had in 2016 was accuracy. He also has swagger. He has confidence that he can make tight window throws. So can Carr be aggressive and make tight window throws? Because in 2016, his talent is not that of a Josh Allen. It's not an Aaron Rodgers. His talent level is a little bit actually worse than Kirk Cousins. He's one of the least talented players in the league at the quarterback position. He has small hand size. When he goes on the road, he's incapable of driving the ball. He's like Jared Goff to me in terms of his actual talent. I don't think his talent is that good. Where I think that he gets better is that, and I'm just talking about his arm, where I think he gets better is he's aggressive, he's smart enough, and his placement can be very good at times. But when he's overthinking, when he's not driving the ball down the field as a defense, I think that you should be able to disrupt Carr, to sack Derek Carr. Now, the offensive line in Oakland, it has to be great. With some quarterbacks, the offensive line doesn't have to be great. With Derek Carr, it needs to be great. And when you watch those 2016 clips, Derek Carr had all day to throw the football. I even feel like showing you guys some of his clips, and I might edit this to show you Derek Carr in 2016, like his best year. And I, in fact, want to do that right now. I, in fact, want to show you some clips from Derek Carr, and I'll put these two videos together. But let's watch it, because the thing is with Derek Carr, as I discuss him, let's just discuss the intangibles before we get to a little film tape. Carr is a great guy. Carr won the locker room, so he's a terrific, terrific leader, and that's very important. Carr is very coachable. He likes John Gruden. He's decent with his players. He needs to sometimes hold players more accountable. Something that I want to see out of Carr is I want to see him actually increase possibly throwing more interceptions. He needs more explosive plays. I want to see Carr utilize a dynamic Joshua Jacobs. I want to see him throw it in the tight windows of Antonio Brown. We need to see Carr, even if he throws a couple more interceptions, it's not the worst thing, because with those risky balls, we're also going to get some pass interference calls. We're also going to get some touchdowns out of these kind of risks that Derek is going to take on. So I want him to take more risks with the football. I don't want him to be as smart. I want him to trust himself more. I think he's too hesitant. I think he's lost the swagger that Carr once had. Carr would pull the trigger a couple of years ago with Del Rio. In fact, one of my favorite Carr games ever was maybe the Oakland Raiders coming back and beating the Baltimore Ravens. He was clutch as hell. When Derek Carr played the New Orleans Saints in 2016, week 1, and the score was tied at the end of regulation in a shootout, Derek Carr stayed on the field and the Raiders converted that 2-point conversion. Derek Carr was able to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a day where pretty much everything went wrong for him, and he was able to hit Seth Roberts and hit a walk-off touchdown. Very resilient as an athlete, a good winner. That's why he's stayed in the NFL, because he can win. So let's talk positives and negatives. The positives, he can win. He has the ability to win. A very good leader. Accurate down the field with touch. So he has accuracy down the field with touch. And third, and then the intermediate quality that can put Carr over the top is his swagger and his confidence, his ability to believe that he can drive it in the tight windows. He needs to get better at taking those chances. And even if they're interceptions, he should go out swinging, because last year he played so weak. He played weak like a wussy. He had no command of the offense. That San Francisco game was downright embarrassing. He was just lazy a lot. It just seemed like he was lazy. I know he wasn't lazy because Derek, supposedly works really hard. But he was opting for screen passes, and it was so frustrating because Carr would barely take chances. And as a defensive coordinator, he was great because as a defensive coordinator, you get after him, he'll get sacked, he'll fumble the ball, he'll be unsure of himself, and he won't take any chances, and he won't scare you. In 2016, Derek Carr would scare you. He would throw 40-yard play-action touchdown bombs to his tight ends and to other players. So we are going to see what worked in 2016. But here are the concerns with Carr, and this is why he was really terrible last year, and these are the reasons why Carr might not be a franchise quarterback or a great-level quarterback. And in 2019, we need to realize that when we evaluate the quarterback position, that these quarterbacks are all going to be pretty good. You look around the league right now, they're all going to put up numbers. Even Ryan Tannehill is going to put up numbers. Even Ryan Fitzpatrick, because there's no pass interference. You can't touch the receiver after 5 yards. So these guys are all going to put up numbers. That's what's going to happen at the NFL, but you have to decipher through those numbers and find out who's good, who kind of sucks, who's overrated, who's not. And that's why winning is important. You look at Matthew Stafford, he puts up good completion percentage. Even Eli had good completion percentage. A lot is about winning, a lot is about executing late, and a lot is about scaring a defense, okay? That's what I value in a quarterback. Do you win in the fourth quarter? Do you win when it matters the most? Do you make big plays when it counts? Do you take those risky throws? Are you able to scare defenses? Do you win and do you scare defenses? And are you accurate? And can you cooperate and just win football games? That's all I care about. Even if you throw a ton of interceptions, are you going to be there at the end? Brett Favre was there in the playoffs a lot. Okay, Brett Favre won and made big-time throws in big-time moments. Mahomes did that last year brilliantly. So, are you going to be that guy? Jared Goff happened to win last year. That's why Jared Goff was successful. He won, and he was able to have explosive plays. He played confidently. He had a great coaching staff. Who's more talented, Carr or Jared Goff? I would say maybe Jared has a stronger arm throwing down the field than Carr, but not much stronger. And Derek Carr actually can be more accurate. And the thing is with Jared Goff is that he just is so confident mentally. He's so much more above Derek Carr. His grasp of the offense, the way that he's able to lead his receivers, the coaching is better. It really is better. But it all stems back to the ability that you believe that you can hit these guys, that you can make big level throws and attack and scare the shit out of defenses. I want an offense to dictate, and that's not what Gruden and Carr are doing. So can Derek Carr dictate on his terms and dominate football games like in 2016? With that being said, let's go to the tape and let's talk about the positives and the negatives of Carr. I talked about the positives already. Accuracy, some swagger, leadership, holding down the position of the quarterback, being the face of the franchise. He does that all really well. Role model, community help, all of that stuff. And it helps your case. It's just like you're a politician as you're a quarterback. You want to be well-liked in that space. What he does poorly, and this before I get into my video, lollipops the ball so he can't drive it, inability to drive it 30 yards and not throw it with velocity. I think he struggles driving the ball. Cold weather games, too many screens, bailing out of a play early, too many screens. Inconsistency, choppy footwork, does not step into throws, is not decisive, and will throw away plays too early, will not improvise enough, does not take risks. If it's 3rd and 8, he'll rather settle the punt and throw it 4 yards than take a chance in the double coverage. He'll never take that risk. And I guess that's good coaching. But I'd rather a quarterback actually extend deep down the field. The biggest weakness to Carr is arm strength. Can't get it down the field. Hand size, cold games, arm strength. Driving the ball is a huge problem with Derek Carr. And just defense aren't scared of him because his arm is just one of the weakest in the league. But can he lob the ball inaccurately? Can he throw with amazing anticipation? Can he play really confidently? Will he use his touch and accuracy to his advantage this year? And will he be clutch late in games and actually convert and actually win? Can he use the accuracy and anticipation skills that he has to make up for his lack of velocity and arm strength? That is the question with Carr. I will play back the 2016 tape, and then I will give you my official prediction for Derek Carr in 2019 and in 20 whatever. I will give you my prediction on Carr for the rest of his career. We'll revisit this opinion and see maybe will I change his career arc next. All right, so we're going to look at Derek Carr now and some of his highlights here. This is DC, and this is the this is going to be just looking at the tape here of Derek Carr and the journey that DC went on in 2016. So we're gonna look at some tape now and see what we could do with Carr and everything. So this is against the Baltimore Ravens, and that's a really tight ball from about 30 yards out by Derek Carr. You see how he manipulates the pocket. He's able to get that ball on a line. That's one of his best throws that he's ever made in his career. I like how he resets, and I like how he lets that go confidently. And again, there's two high safeties there, and he just beats it down the seam. That's just a really good throw. And then again, that's a wide open throw here from Carr. So as we kind of look at these highlights, like Derek Carr, again, you're not seeing him drive it, but you're seeing him, be able to throw with some touch. And that's what Derek can do. So this is Carr at his absolute apex. That's Carr moving outside the pocket. You see he's playing with a lot more mobility, a lot more freedom than he's played with the last couple of years. A ton of emotion. Derek's going to have to play with tons of emotion, but you look at how clean that was a relatively clean pocket. And once again, he's using his eyes so well. He had a great understanding of the offense. That's a really deep drop by Carr right here. And you see 72 there with an amazing block. You look at this pocket, and Derek's going to have a really clean pocket. He's going to have Colton Miller really protect him. He's going to have Trent Brown be out there, and Trent Brown's going to have to be awesome for him. And that's enough arm strength right there from Derek Carr. But again, a nice lob. I think that might be Amari Cooper with the big time catch. I want to see these type of balls thrown to Antonio Brown. I haven't seen a throw like that from Derek in quite a long time. And then Seth Roberts here wins the game for him. They won a lot of games late. So this was against Denver. Denver wasn't a good team. And then they also had the benefit of playing a pretty easy schedule. This was against Brock Osweiler. I remember this game down in Mexico City, Monday Night Football. See, these are pretty open guys. And his offensive line, just pretty incredible on these highlights, how you needed it all to work. A lot of run after catch. Is that a fumble Ruski executed by Oakland? No, he hurt his finger and then he comes back out there. Now throwing with the glove. Nice little touch ball, and what a catch right there, actually. Again, his receiver's making plays. He's being aggressive. He's taking shots down the field. You're not seeing him really drive the ball in an incredible way. You're seeing a lot of lobs, but you're seeing a much more confident Carr. And this is a good throw by Derek. I mean, because this ball is just driven. That's kind of where this is a throw I haven't really seen him make. And is he able to make this throw off of his ACL injury? Can he make a throw like this one? This is the best throw of the highlight tape because here the guy's actually covered. I mean, when he hits a 40-yard touchdown, a lot of times the guy is kind of running past another receiver. He's a lot of times that's happening. But this throw, a guy is not open, and this is where he throws the guy open. And you just see how explosive Carr is with his throwing motion here, and you see just the confidence, and just there's no hesitation there but with Carr, and that's the confidence that we're going to have to see if he's going to be able to make this work with Antonio Brown in Oakland this year. We're going to have to see that same confidence come back, which hasn't been there the last few years. Look at that high and tight release. He lets it go. It could have been an interception right here very well. The linebacker's coming into play, and he just beat the linebacker with a throw. So this is the best of Carr. That's a pretty open throw to an elite wide receiver in Amari Cooper. And then this is obviously a little throw, which we've seen him do with touch. But still in this highlight, you're seeing Derek, you're seeing him throw a lot of lobs, 40 yards in the air, which is all right arm strength. But even high school guys, can throw the ball with that kind of lob. You are seeing some great accurate throws. Like he has some good back shoulders stretched in here. He's going to have to be the best version of himself if he's going to be successful. It's very similar to like a Kirk Cousins tape. I think Kirk even has more arm strength than Carr. But like a Josh Allen, Mahomes, like these guys can carry a team. You're just going to have to get Derek healthy. You're going to have to get him moving. And he can't hesitate like he did with the John Gruden offense. You now have Incognito on the offensive line. And you have like Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson. You have like a couple of guys, I think, inside that should be able to help the offensive line. And that's going to be crucial if Carr wants to be elite. I look at Derek, this is a huge year for him. I don't think he can get back to the same guy he was in 2016. I don't think he's going to dominate this league. I think the quarterbacks are better. I don't think Derek's going to throw with the back shoulder velocity that he even once had. John Gruden's a very tough coach to get along with. This division is a lot better now with Flacco going to Denver, with Vic Fangio in Denver, the Chargers, and Kansas City. I still think that the NFC West is too elite for Derek to really crack through. And with them going to Vegas, there's a decent chance that they get Herbert or Tua next year. I'm not really a believer in Carr, and he'll have to surprise me and just have a fantastic year. I think he might be too far gone. But listen, he's got a full year to make it work with Antonio Brown. He definitely has the drive to give this thing a good go. He's a hardworking guy, likable, and we'll see what happens. I'm not ruling it out. It's not impossible, but my money would be that Carr is going to be out in a year, that this can be his last year in Oakland. That is my prediction. It's not the most definitive prediction I have, but it's a prediction. So I'd say about 80% chance if I were to put a number on it, 80% chance the last year. And let's see what he can do. Let's see if DC can make it work. It's really his last year. Does he want to be a Blake Bortles, guy that had that one great year? Or does he want to be a franchise quarterback? Everything lines up for Derek Carr.